At just 39 years old, a routine surgery turned into a life-altering diagnosis. A Charleston mom of 3 found herself facing stage 4 colon cancer head-on. Well, now she's turning shock into strength and using her voice to make sure other families don't miss the signs. Let's welcome Kathleen Pratt, colon cancer survivor and awareness advocate with the Boone Project. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've had an opportunity to chat before we started the segment, and it's just unbelievable what you have been through and how far you have come in just a couple of years. But why don't we start here? So it was just a regular routine surgery, and then everything changed when you came out of anesthesia.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that.
So I had a planned surgery. It was scheduled for December of 2023. And like I was mentioning to you, it was supposed to take about 2 hours long, and the doctors got in there and found out that I had stage 4 colon cancer. And obviously that's a pretty devastating news to hear, but it was shocking to my doctors because I was being closely monitored by my team. I'd had ulcerative colitis since I was 11, so I was very proactive about knowing the risks that were involved. I really thought I was doing all of the right things. And on a family front, we were actually 4.5 months pregnant via surrogacy with our 3rd child at the time of diagnosis.
Oh my God.
So
a lot hits you all at the same time. When they say it rains, it pours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
So they get in there and they see stage 4 cancer. So had you been feeling ill leading up to this? Was something not quite right?
Yes and no. I would say, unfortunately, for those that have IBS, that have Crohn's and colitis, a lot of times the symptoms can be masked, and a lot of times your doctors can sometimes say, oh, it's just a flare-up, or in your own mind, you'll say, you know, this falls in line with some of the symptoms that I've experienced for a long time. Some of the main ones that everyone knows is, you know, abdominal pain. For me, it was extreme fatigue out of nowhere, and just in general, just a lot of discomfort. And for a lot of patients, sometimes they'll see bloody stool or they'll have changes in bowel. I wasn't experiencing that. It was mostly the pain and the fatigue that were my 2 main symptoms. But once again, I was just telling you, we live in a busy society. I was a busy mom, and I was just plugging away at life and wasn't slowing down.
So it's easy for it to have been misdiagnosed.
Yes, unfortunately.
With your particular symptoms. And that's why every one of us is just so very different. No 2 patients are the same because what you were experiencing is different from the next person. And I want to talk about the proactiveness that you need to be with your own health. Before we dive into that, so there's no real telling how it got to stage 4, but you went through 2 very long surgeries. You underwent chemotherapy, and you couldn't even eat for how many months?
10 months.
For 10 months.
Yes.
So you were on a completely different trajectory than what you had expected.
Yes.
Also while expecting your 3rd child.
Yeah, you go from, you know, planning baby showers and being really excited about that to suddenly shifting to, okay, we're having a repeat surgery in 5 days, and then our plan was, okay, how are we going to attack the cancer? When are we going to start chemotherapy? And just dealing with the new norm. You wake up one day and things can shift so quickly.
That's right.
That's what I want everyone to be mindful of.
Absolutely. Do you think that having had the issues that you were experiencing as a young person just sort of kept you a little bit more on your toes about it, and that's how you were able to become your own advocate and to finally get the diagnosis that you needed?
I think that was a big part. Something I didn't share with you is my father unfortunately passed away of complications of Crohn's when I was in college.
Oh, gosh,
and it was, thank you, it was a tough time. And since then, I really have taken a strong approach of being mindful of my health, being mindful of my children's health. My kids were born via surrogacy. I wanted to give them the best opportunity at life. And I felt like I was doing all of the right things, if that makes sense.
Sure,
and
of course,
and this elective surgery was actually to be sure that we were preventing cancer down the road. It was, and so to find out that, you know, we missed that opportunity. Had I done that, you know, 5-10 years before, the outcome would be very different.
And so about the advocacy part, so what would you tell our audience on how to be more proactive?
I would say, like I said before, no one knows your body better than you do. I think the next key thing is, you know, pay attention to those symptoms. If something's not going away, if something doesn't feel right, start with a doctor, ask some questions, ask for testing. And really, in today's society, I really think you do need to be your own self-advocate.
Definitely.
It makes a huge difference. I learned that in the hospital, that, you know, it's one thing to, you know, get the information and sit back, but it's another thing to do your own research and be proactive and just make sure that, you know, you're on board with the decision. But this is your body. It's not just your doctors dictating your treatment plan. And I think doing all of your due diligence to make sure that it doesn't progress, or that you can do anything you can to prevent it from progressing.
Well, and doctors too, they're suggesting you getting a colonoscopy younger than what was previously prescribed. So now we're looking at age 45 when you should have one. And then if you do have a family history, that also plays into it. And then also with those home tests, you know, just start there. Just get the test done, send in the results so you can get the information sooner rather than later. Well, thank you so much for sharing the information. I also want to make sure that everybody knows about, this is a great, I love the title of the event, the inaugural Get Your Rear in Gear. It's a Charleston 5K. It's a kids dash as well. Make sure you come out. It's Saturday. So February 28th, that is tomorrow. So make sure you head out at 8 a.m. That's when registration opens up. It's at Carnes Crossing in Somerville. So make sure you do go, help support people who have colon cancer, and just for your own health, you know, it's really important. Thank you again, Kathleen.
Thank you so much for shedding light on such an important.
You as well. Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
We'll be back after this.
Thank you.